let's talk about some of these last-minute deals before the CBA expired, the eve of the first. So first, we had this was something I thought was really funny, Jewell. I don't know if you caught this over the last couple weeks, but the Rangers made a deal for Jon Gray from
Uh,
the Rockies, right?
yeah, no, that was actually in my blog post today of Tasty Talk.
Oh, very nice, very good.
I talked
So
about this. Uh,
we talked about it last week. I joked with Jonathan about it that the Rangers made a deal for Jon Gray and actually paid him pretty well. And I was like, I wonder if he thought he was getting Sonny Gray. And then the next day, it comes out that the Rangers asked about making a deal for Sonny Gray.
yeah, I don't know what Chris Young was thinking here. I mean, it was literally back in 2018. The guy he's paying $14 million in 2018, which is not that long ago, led the National League in earned runs.
Well, he was pitching in Colorado, so I'll give him a little bit of a pass there. But at the same time, that doesn't happen every year. So
His nearly 4.0 FIP doesn't really give him a pass.
no, it doesn't. You're right. You're
Not
right.
for $14 million.
And let's be honest, we are AL West homers. We are both Mariners fans, so we're going to try to knock the Rangers down as much as we can. It might happen several times throughout the night here. We'll see how it goes.
Don't even know why they like. No one. I just don't understand how Gray got his agent. Hats off to his agent.
Yeah. His agent did some finagling there, and I'm convinced that they thought it was Sonny Gray. Like he
I
thought that he was talking to Sonny Gray's agent.
Yeah, I think. What if the same agent represents both of them, and then his agent was like, "Oh, here's John."
It could
It's
have
like, "Oh,
been.
okay, pitcher works out
It
for
could
me."
have been, yeah, a pitcher named Gray. But yeah, so the Rangers apparently did inquire about trading for Sonny Gray. That's your funny for the week right there. The next deal we had, Chris Taylor went back to the Dodgers. I'm not really surprised about that because he wasn't going to fetch a whole lot of money on the market. He's a
Nope.
really good player. He's a great postseason player. He's come in clutch for the Dodgers several times in the last few years, but he's kind of been buried, like I said, kind of been buried in the regular season, and so he
Yep.
hasn't had a chance to prove himself there yet.
He's a
But here he
great
is.
Dodger.
He is a great Dodger. He'll go down as one of the great Dodgers because of the impact he has had
Hmm.
on the postseason.
Yep.
So good for
He's
him.
great
4
for
years,
the
60 million.
Dodgers.
Yes. 4 years, 60 million. And this is the thing too, is that up until this year, he belongs in the National League because of
Oh
the whole
yeah.
thing with the pitchers and everything like that. If they end up doing something like tying the DH to the pitcher, I could see him being a late game DH and being fantastic at it.
Oh yeah. No, and I think he even has a chance to be a starter this next season. With second base opening up there,
That's true. Yeah,
second base will be
shortstop.
wide open. Shortstop, well, Trey Turner should be moving over to short.
That's true. You're right. Yeah, Trey Turner will be over at short, but yeah, second base will be open, and Chris
I
Taylor
think
could
left
have
field too.
a major impact there. Yeah, I mean the dude can play anywhere. He can literally play anywhere and play it well too. He's not like your
Hmm.
jack of all trades utility guy who does fine, who's serviceable. He's really good at what he does.
Yeah, no, he's great.
So
He's fantastic. He's well earned 15 mil a year.
definitely, yeah, good for him. We also had Marcus Stroman going to the Cubs, 3 years, $71 million there. That's a lot of money. The
Yeah.
Cubs, especially for the Cubs, a team that, granted, they have a really strong farm system right now after all the wheeling and dealing they did at the trade deadline this year. But I don't. That's a win now move, and I don't see them winning in the next 3 years.
I think a lot of it also with a couple of these moves, like this move for the Cubs, is possibly setting up for what we could see with CBA talks, the salary floor.
It could be, yeah. I mean,
I think it's a lineup move. I mean, that's what I feel with a few of these moves. Honestly,
the
like,
team's spending money because they feel like they're going to have to.
yeah,
Maybe, I don't know,
but
but man, that's like I said. That to me, that's my first thought was win now, and I don't feel like they're going to win in the next 3 years because Stroman's a guy you bring in to
oh yeah,
like round out your starters, right?
yeah. But I think 3 years. He's 30, so they're gonna get the back half of his prime, unless he has an extended, late career, which he could.
I
He
don't
did
think he's
miss
going to
some
end up
time
being
with
like a
injuries.
Scherzer though.
No, but I think he'll be a serviceable like 3-4. But
Hmm.
why not make your money with at the tail end of your prime?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, if I was him, I'd take the money for sure. I was just a little confused about the Cubs, but that's just me.
I mean, it's
We
a great.
haven't.
He's going to be everything for them, though. He's going to
He
be the
is.
guy.
He
So
is. Yeah, and that might be what he wants to.
yeah,
But we've also got Mark Melancon.
Melanson.
Melanson, not even close. Wow. To the D-backs. Maybe I need to learn how to read a pronunciation guide. But Mark Melanson going to the
Play
Diamondbacks.
MLB the Show.
There you go. Or maybe don't watch games on mute anymore. I don't know.
No,
Maybe that should be my next step.
no,
Two
that's
years
the
four
funny. That's today's funny, guys. We got you with the first one.
2 years, 14 million for him. That's a good move for the D-backs. They needed some
I love
pitching,
it.
and he'll come in. And good deal for him. Good deal for the D-backs. He's
Oh, great
he's
deal.
what 37 right now.
Yeah, I think he's a little bit older, so a guy that you can still count on in the eighth, ninth inning to
And
get the
the
job
D-backs,
done.
the D-backs are really young. Aside from Mad Bum, they're really young. So
Oh
having a
yeah,
guy come in like him and kind of, I don't know if it's like bring order to that
bridge,
clubhouse,
bridge.
a bridge, yeah. But also like, I don't know, bring in some experience besides Mad Bum.
Yeah,
Have another
besides
guy
Mad Bum and Cattell
who can
Marte,
help that.
and yeah.
Because man, like that team is so young. I remember going to games last year and looking up on the scoreboard when guys would come up, and like first off, they all looked like they were about 14 or 15 years old, and made me feel really old. But most of them were probably 23, 24, 25 tops.
Mhm,
The majority of
mhm.
them. So that's a really young team. If they can figure it out, they could be really good.
Yeah,
But
no, I
I
agree.
don't, I don't know. They had a rough year last year. Then I think it'll be good for them to bring him. And then Corey Knebel to the Phillies.
The
One
Phillies
year,
needed
10
it.
million.
The Phillies needed a bullpen move. It doesn't really
Mm-hmm.
scream like let's surround our now two-time MVP with more talent,
Mm-hmm.
but
Well, he has
they
plenty of talent
really,
around him.
they really needed, they really needed bullpen help.
Big time, big time. They struggled in the bullpen this year, and
Like
it
they would
is
have been in the
helpful.
playoffs if they would have had a Nebel.
That's the thing that's crazy about Major League Baseball. It's 162 game season, but then it comes down to like the last couple days so often, and
Hmm.
sometimes I wonder about teams in April and May. I don't want to say mailing it in close games, but maybe not like making every move they could have to win a game in April or May, because it's only April or May and it's a long season, right? Like
Yeah,
the one that
no,
comes to
I
mind
agree.
specifically for me was with the Mariners probably 8 or 9 years, 7, 8, 9 years ago, something like that. They had Justin Smoke, this is to tell you how long
Hmm.
ago it was, on first base as the tying run. And they didn't pinch run for him. There's
I
a
think
ball
that's
hit
when
in
they
the
even had D Gordon, and I don't think D Gordon was in that game.
No, it was his pre D Gordon.
Oh, it was pre
Um,
D.
yeah, it was. But still, they had guys on the bench who could run for him. Eric
Anyone
Burns might have
faster
even
than
been
Justin Smoke.
Burns might have even been on the team at the time. Um, but it might be anyway. I might be mixing up my timelines. But anyways, there's a shot in the gap, and he was out by about 4 feet of the plate. If they had anybody else in there who could move, that's a tie game, and they go
Oh
on, and then
yeah,
they end up. I was like, you got to try to win those games still, especially when you're Seattle, and it's going to
yeah.
come down to the last couple games of the season if you're in the hunt.
And I think that's another thing. Even to allude to possibly later in this episode when we talk about a possible expanded playoff format. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's one of the things that could change is that we see more competition starting in April as opposed to August.